again, and it is Wednesday, March 17th. It's like 5:17 in the evening. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I filmed on Monday night. I filmed like a ton of stuff and did not want to do anything with it, so I deleted it. So you know what? It is what it is. I haven't been posting any like weekend writing vlogs, and it's because I'm doing the same thing where I'm filming stuff and then I hate it, or I feel like really meh about it when I'm like, it's stupid. There's not even a point in editing this footage and posting it. So I didn't. I just deleted it. I guess for a little update writing wise, if you follow me on Instagram, which is where I tend to do most of my social media-ing, I am very, very close to finishing Heartlines, this draft at least, and yeah, I'm actually planning on finishing it tonight, which is why I'm filming. I moved Heartlines, like I converted it from a Pages document. I used to be a huge advocate for Scrivener, and then Scrivener started bothering me because it kept messing with my formatting, and then at one point it wouldn't let me access any of my Scrivener files, like at all. So I stopped using Scrivener and I started writing this in Pages, but then I converted the Pages document to a docx format so that I could upload it onto Google Drive and then work on it on my work computer, because I don't want to sound like, you know, I'm finding myself with a lot of free time at work, but sometimes when the phone's not ringing, when I'm not getting email after email that I have to respond to, I do have 5 minutes here and there where I'm kind of able to do my own thing. And for a while, you know, I listen to YouTube videos when I'm at work, so, you know, I would just do that and just look like I'm working. And then I started playing on Google Drive to like outline things. I just have my for fun ideas that I work on Google Drive. And then I thought, hold on, all this time I'm spending getting writing done at work, why am I not working on my main writing project? So, and this all stemmed from me not wanting to take my MacBook to work anymore to write on my lunch break, because even though I was producing a lot doing that, I hated carrying my MacBook, which is silly because that's the whole reason I bought a MacBook Air in the first place, was because it was thinner and lighter, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take it to work every day. And yeah, I have taken it to work a couple of days. But yeah, so now Heartlines is strictly being written on Google Drive. It's been really, really helpful for me, and I'm honestly mad at myself that I didn't do this sooner, because I feel like I could have been finished this draft already. All of that rambling aside, let me run some numbers for you so I can share with you how productive I have been. So last week was a really good week for me because last week, the 8th to the 14th, I knew it was coming up on I want to end this novel. God, why am I stammering all of a sudden? You know, I knew that this week, the week of the 15th through the 21st, that I wanted to finish this draft. So last week I was busting my ass. So like nearly every day I wrote over 2,000 words. And at the end of the week, I did have like 1 or 2, you know, bad days. So at the end of the week, I had almost 12,000 words that I had written. And that was, you know, the first half of the week I was taking my MacBook to work to write on my lunch break. And the second half of the week is after I had converted it to a Google Doc-like format so that I could work on it at work. And now this week, I know I want to finish. Monday, the 15th, was my best day that I've had in a long, long time. And I'm a little annoyed I didn't save this footage because it could have been useful to pop in right here. But on Monday night, my boyfriend wasn't home. He's not home right now, which is why I'm filming. He's doing like a side job, so to speak. And it was only going to be Monday and Wednesday, and I was going to do a whole thing where I filmed a Monday vlog and a Wednesday vlog. Did not happen. But anyways, on Monday, he was at this job and had the whole night to myself, really. I stayed up until like 9 o'clock, which I normally don't do. I get up at 3 in the morning. So I'm usually in bed at like 7:30. But on Monday, I don't know if it was because I was wired from being alone, and I'm not often alone, like we're always together. I just didn't want to go to bed, so I was just writing like crazy. And I'm sure a lot of people can average this daily, so it's probably not that much. But I wrote 5,134 words on Monday, and your girl is proud because I have not had a 5K day in forever. I could not even tell you the last time I had a 5K day. So I'm really excited about Monday. Yesterday I only wrote 1,779 words. It is what it is. And today I have been writing, and just because I didn't say anything, this is counting like chapter headings and stuff. Like, I don't subtract them from my word count. That's just too much work for me at this point. You know, those are always included in my word count. So today I have only written 1,231 words. I say only when, let's be real, my goal is to at least get 1,000 words a day, so only 1,200 is not a bad thing. And my total word count for the whole manuscript so far is 96,544. I desperately do not want to go over 100K in this draft, and because I know I have to cut and rework a lot of stuff. I'm hoping to get it down during the first revision closer to like 85,000. I don't know how much I'm going to need to add when I'm reworking it, and I'm feeling mostly optimistic because I'm currently on the final scene of this book. I am in the final chapter, chapter 33, and some shit's happening. I'm excited, and I can't wait to write the end, and I think I'm gonna do it. Like I said, it is about 5:30 now, 5:26. I have already eaten dinner, just got into Twin Peaks. I know I'm very behind. I have a lot of friends, excuse me, I don't have a lot of friends first of all, but of the small circle of friends that I have a few that like are really into Twin Peaks, and I just never watched it because, you know, I see a lot of places bill it as like a horror. Excuse me, I don't know why I did the quotes that early, but they bill it as a horror. And everything I've seen, I was like, that's not really my kind of horror. You know, it feels a lot slower, more, you know, suspenseful, a slow burn kind of thing. But today at work I saw it was on Netflix. I was like, alright, let me see what all the hubbub's about. I watched the first 3 episodes, and there's a lot I don't like about it. But the stuff I do like about it, I really like. So I watched the 4th episode with dinner. I also ordered for the first time. I have never had bubble tea, and there aren't a lot of places in the area that I live that have it or offer it, and I found a place on DoorDash that had it. So I got coffee, of course, and this is coffee jelly. I love coffee, what can I say? The coffee jelly is really weird, but I like it. And I'm already feeling kind of sleepy, so I want the caffeine for sure. So yeah, I think that is enough rambling. I am just going to jump into this scene. The scene's kind of intense because a little bit of action happens because I'm trying to hook the reader and make them want to read the next book. So I've introduced a new character, and I'm excited about this character because she's kind of a badass. And she's not a good guy, but she's not a bad guy either, but she's definitely here to F shit up and just throw a wrench in everyone's plans. This ending came to me very suddenly, like nothing in my story prepared me for the ending I imagined. So it's definitely something that I'm either going to have to lean into as a plot twist or possibly put in more hints when I'm reworking it, because I don't want the story to feel like it takes too sharp of a turn. I don't want it to feel like it's veering off course with this one scene at the end. But I'm about to introduce this woman. She's about to talk, and I've been waiting to write her because she's always been in my outline and in the background in my head. But I was like, alright, I guess this character isn't coming until the 2nd book. But then as I was brainstorming the end for this one, I was like, oh, this is the perfect moment to introduce her. So I've been wanting to write her for a long time, and yeah, I'm excited. So I'm just going to jump in and get to writing her. So, I'm finished, and I don't know how I feel actually. I am pleased that I finally have a first draft of Serena and Paz's story, because I started it for NaNoWriMo last year and didn't finish it. So I'm happy that I finally have finished it. I didn't get to type the end because where like my chapter ended basically on the very last line of a page, and if I did a page break, it just takes it to the next page, and it's honestly just like, what's the point just to have the end written on the page after? I'm not 100% satisfied with the ending, but I'm not beating myself up too much because I'm not 100% satisfied with the whole draft, so, you know, it is what it is, and I will fix what I can fix when the time comes. I'm just pleased to have a finished, like, draft. Like, I can look at it and it has a beginning, middle, and end, you know, it's a cohesive story. Maybe not the best story right now, but it's at least a story. Finishing stories it's something that I was never able to do in the past. It was essentially a curse for like the first, I guess, half of my life, if not more. I've been writing since I was in like middle school, basically, and I've always had this problem where I get super hyped and super excited about a story, and I power through, you know, good couple of chapters, and everything's going great, I'm loving it, anyone who reads it's loving it, and then I just fall off the wagon. I just stop caring, I stop writing it, and I move on to a different story. And same old song and dance, you know, every different story. I start really great, and I just give up. You know, sometimes I get 80% of the way through and I give up. I've never been good at ending stories, and when I wrote the first drafts of my Gargoyles of Craven trilogy, those were basically the first stories that I ever finished, like that I ever started, continued, and finished. And so it's nice because I was a little worried. I thought, what if this trilogy is just my one time kind of, you know, what if I never finish another story after this? So just having a finished draft of Heartlines is exciting to me. I didn't even drink half of my coffee. My bubble tea, excuse me. It's really strong. It'd be like that sometimes though. So I did not go over 100,000, so that's exciting. My total, sorry, I thought I heard a noise, and the fact that I'm home alone, had to listen for it. My total word count for this draft is 97,370. I still would have had a good, you know, almost 3,000 words to go before I crossed that, but I'm really glad I didn't. That was kind of like a mini goal, was to not just finish Heartlines, but to finish it under 100k. So I'm excited about that. My total for today, just, you know, if anyone was wondering, was 2,057 words. But yeah, so I'm done, I'm excited, and I'm very excited because now I can work on plotting out Project Elfblood for Camp NaNoWriMo, which is in a week and a half? No, actually probably closer to 2 weeks. So we're just gonna say 2 weeks. And I'm excited because I mentioned in a different video a little while ago, I had plotted out the full arc of my main character in Elfblood. Her name is Winifred. I'd plotted out her full arc as if it was going to be one book, but it's not, first of all. You know, it was way too long. I was able to go through and kind of break it down, and so now I have essentially like the bare bones outlines of 5 different novellas in this series, and the goal would be Project Elfblood. You know, phase 1 is my one character, Winifred, and phase 2 would be a set of novellas, maybe not 5, but a set of novellas for my other main character. Her name is Trin. Unfortunately, I did not realize Trin and Winifred, you know, they have a cute ship name at least, Trinifred, but so that's my long-term goal. And so for Camp NaNo, I would like to write the first novella in the series, and I'm really excited. I've never written fantasy before, that's the problem. It is high fantasy, heavily inspired by my love of Dragon Age. It's my, like, one of my all-time favorite video games, if not my all-time favorite video game, and, you know, there's a lot of elements from that. There'll probably be elements from, like, A Song of Ice and Fire, because it's one of my favorite book series. I am almost finished A Dance with Dragons. I'm like 80% of the way through today, and at this point I almost don't want to finish because what's the point? But so I tend to consume a lot of fantasy in terms of like video games and movies and stuff, but I've never written a fantasy before, and I'm excited. I really want to, but I'm also really nervous, and that anxious-ridden part of my brain is already trying to jump ship, and it's like, oh no, it doesn't have to be a high fantasy. What if we just make it an urban fantasy where it like takes place in a modern world where dragons and elves exist? And I'm like, first of all, that's awesome, but second of all, that sounds like way more work than, you know, just a normal fantasy, and I don't want to put too much on my plate, if that makes sense. So we're just gonna stick with a normal fantasy for now, and I'm really excited to do that. I printed out character sheets, actually, that I'm going to use for the first time for Project Elfblood. I plan on doing that on camera. Easy content for my channel, you know? But I'm excited to do that. I already know these characters fairly well because I kind of planned this out like a long time ago. Like, I think back before NaNoWriMo of last year, I was like thinking about it. I think I might have even almost changed my Nano. Like, I knew I was going to write Heartlines, and then I started thinking about this new Project Elfblood idea, and I almost started writing that for Nano, but I had to crack down and say, no, write Heartlines for Nano, which worked out. But yeah, holy crap, that was a lot of rambling. But yeah, so I think I might just take the next couple of days to finish reading A Dance with Dragons, to work on getting my new Hobonichi set up because I got a spring start Hobonichi, because bullet journaling is just not for me. I cannot find my dreamwave planning. I like weekly planning, like say in the Happy Planner, but then I start to feel constrained, I guess. I start to feel like, you know, I can't be super creative because, you know, you have the columns and you're stuck in those columns, especially if you had a planner that is like pre-decorated, like in colorful and stuff, you're stuck with those colors. Bullet journaling I'm not creative enough for because I'm not good at drawing, I'm not good at setting up spreads, and the only system that ever really worked for me was a Hobonichi, the Techo A5 with the weekly spreads in the front and then daily pages for journaling. So I got me a spring start. I might just set that up so that next week just focus entirely on Project Elfblood. So yeah, those are my plans, I guess. This always happens to me. I feel like I finish drafts and then it's like I don't know what to do with myself. It's like, cool, now what? And yeah, so when I start plotting and planning for Project Elfblood, I will film some of it. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be super fun, I think. Before I go, I do want to show you something out in the living room, but first I'm going to give a little explanation, and I realize I'm talking kind of fast. I guess the coffee is really starting to affect me. But anyway, if you've been kind of following me for a little while, you might know that I used to have a cat. His name was McLovin because I was in a weird place when I named him. I just thought it was a funny name to name a cat. Unfortunately, he had some health problems and I lost him November 30th. And it hit me really hard, and I don't think I was really doing a good job of processing it, and it was getting to the point where it's strange. I don't dream about him, I just dream about cats in general, and there are times when I swear I hear meows, and I know that sounds very silly, you know, if I wasn't talking about the death of a cat and said to somebody, oh, I think I'm hearing meows in my house, like, it sounds silly. And I know a lot of it is dreaming because I'll be in that kind of half asleep, half awake place, like in the middle of the night or, you know, just before my alarm goes off and I swear I can hear it. I know it's me dreaming. Although one time in the morning I was sitting here writing before work and I could have swore I heard it out there, but you know, I know it's not real. But either way, getting off track. I think I just was not processing it, and there's a gas station that I drive by, and the last day that I got to see him when I dropped him off at the clinic, I had to stop at that gas station for gas, and the vet called me, or the cardiologist called me to give me that first update, and I sat at that gas station for like 10 or 15 minutes talking to her about my cat. And so now whenever I pass that gas station and look at it, I'm fine if I don't look at it, but when I pass it or if I'm stuck at the red lights at that gas station, all I can think about is that that was the last time I saw him, and it just really puts me in a negative headspace because I miss him so much. And I found this like figurine on Etsy. I think they actually are referred to as like tea pets. I'll put a link in the description where I got it. It came from China, but the shipping was actually super fast, first of all. But, and I'm also going to put a picture up on the screen right now of what it looks like. It was just this reddish brown color, and it's just this really chunky cat and I fell in love with it. My cat McLovin. He wasn't that chunky, but he was a big boy. And the figurine was like advertised to me on Facebook, and I showed my boyfriend and I was like, oh my god, I kind of want to get this. And instantly he kind of was just like, you know, you should. And then he said, you should paint it like McLovin. And I thought, I should. So I ordered one and it came, and like that weekend we went to the craft store so I could get some acrylic paint. And like I went through all of my old pictures of McLovin and used a pencil to sketch out the shapes of his black spots and splotches, and it came out really well. And I think honestly that it helped me kind of process my grief a little bit better. You know, it could just all be a farce. It could just be that, you know, I'm not as down about it as I was before, and I will get down about it again. But I feel better having done it because it was such an act of love and remembrance. And yeah, I feel like it really has helped me to process. As much as I still miss him, when I look at this little figurine, I feel, I guess, at peace. I don't know. I still regret the way it happened. You know, I couldn't be there with him because he went kind of suddenly, but you know, there's nothing else I could have really done, so I'm just trying to not beat myself up over it. And like I said, trying to process it in a healthy way. And yeah, I think painting this figurine did just that. So I want to show you. Hopefully it's dark enough that you won't see my messy apartment, because me and my boyfriend have a lot of stuff and not a lot of space, unfortunately. This is the little area. We have his little urn set up. I hate they printed his name kind of off-center. I know it seems very stupid, but it bothers me. And we have this little paw print thing that they made, and these two were like his favorite toys. And here's the little chunky cat figurine, and I love him. Just so you can see, I guess, the finer details. And this is one of my favorite spots because I just loved his random little splotches. So yeah, I think he turned out wonderful, and when I just look at him, you know, that's my McMuffin, you know? So yeah, I think I have rambled enough. The point was, I finished my draft, and life's not perfect for me right now because I hate my job, and it's very draining and just taxing mentally and emotionally, and it kills me every day, and I really dislike a lot of the people there. So, not 100% happy, but besides my job, I'm in a good place right now, and yeah, so that's the end of my vlog. I finished my draft, and I'm in a good place right now, minus my job. So, I will film when I start planning and plotting for Project Elfblood, and I will probably try to do at least weekly vlogs during the month of April for camp. And if you are interested in that, you know, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. So let me know how you're doing down below. Let me know what your camp project is going to be if you are participating. Like, comment, and subscribe. All that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video about Camp NaNo.